Today, we're embarking on our journey through misery. Expect twists, a series of turns, and spoilers. Proceed with caution and hold on tight. We're diving in. In this thriller with a gloomy sense of humor, romantic novelist Paul Sheldon plays the film's namesake, Misery Chastain. Sheldon is famously acclaimed for the character he has created to be his hallmark. Following the completion of his most recent novel, he leaves the Silver Creek Lodge and makes his way back to New York City. His vehicle loses control and skids off the icy road in the blizzard after a time. While he is in the car, he experiences a flashback in which he is discussing his most recent book in the Misery series with his agent. Annie Wilkes, a nurse, rescues him and brings him to her home for a span of 2 days. She declares herself his biggest fan, giving birth to the popular phrase, "I'm your #1 fan." Annie reveals that she is more than a bit odd when she lashes out in a fit of wrath over the cursing that is included in his new book after she has asked if she can read it in manuscript form and been granted permission to do so. When she leaves the room, he gives the impression that he has been tricked and wants to go as soon as possible. The following day, Annie brings a copy of the third and final book in the Misery series into the house, and over the course of the following few days, she exposes how many pages she has read. During this time, she introduces him to her pet pig, Misery. The following evening, she comes close to killing him over the fact that he killed Misery in his last book. She lies to him and says that she never phoned the local hospital, despite the fact that she stated she did, and she threatens to kill him in the event that anything bad occurs to her. He makes an instant attempt to flee but is unsuccessful. The following day, Annie appears to be in a good mood and tries to convince him to burn the manuscript, but he is reluctant to do so. Later on, she admits that she has a request for him to compose a new book in which the character Misery is resurrected. When he notices a hairpin lying on the ground, he gets an idea on how he may buy some more time. Annie answers with another outburst of wrath whenever he asks her to replace the smudgy paper he is using by purchasing new paper. He explains that the paper he is currently using smudges easily. Paul uses the hairpin to unlock his bedroom door and leave while she is out shopping. He does this while she is distracted. However, he quickly realizes that not only the back door, but also the front entrance is locked. He goes into her home and looks about the living room, as well as the medicine cupboard. In the living room, he knocks a little ceramic penguin off the table by accident and then puts it back on the incorrect side. In addition to this, he understands that Annie's phone is a sham, which eliminates any possibility of his making contact with the outside world. In the bathroom's medicine cabinet, he doses himself with some of the medication that Annie has been administering to treat his fracture. He also makes an attempt to flee through the back door, which is located in the kitchen, but he is unable to do so because he has been bedridden for a few days and is now using a wheelchair. Soon after, he hears Annie coming back, and he dashes back to his room as quickly as he can. It is to his good fortune that he returns to his room just in time to see her open the door. She helps him go back into bed, then hands him a notepad and his medication, which he acts as if he is swallowing. On the following evening, he sets aside a significant quantity of the pill powder. An dispute between Paul and Annie about the book begins in the morning, and it quickly develops into a comical fit of passion when Paul starts talking about Annie's childhood in Bakersfield and how she used to attend chapter plays. In the meantime, the authorities in the area uncover Sheldon's 1965 Mustang that had been buried in the snow. Annie expresses her delight at the new book that Paul has been working on when she reads some of it. To mark the occasion of Misery's return, Paul extends an invitation to Annie to join him for dinner. At the supper, Paul proposes a toast to Misery's return, but before he does so, he inquires as to whether or not she has any candles. Paul sneakily mixes the substance into Annie's wine as she searches for the missing people. When she finally returns, she is almost ready to raise the toast, but she accidentally spills her drink, which foils Paul's scheme. The following scene is a compilation of different video snippets showing Paul working on the book. The final film shows Annie handing him his medication while they have a conversation about ending their lives. When she leaves the house, he comes out of his room once more and reads the scrapbook she kept of their memories together. The compilation features various newspaper clippings that implicate her in the deaths of her father, her college roomie, and a significant number of hospital patients. He then wheeled himself to his room, grabbing a knife from the kitchen on the way. After some time has passed, he eventually comes to and sees Annie as she has forcibly sedated him. The next morning, she takes a hairpin, a scrapbook, and a ceramic penguin from his room and ties him to the bed. She then tells him that she is aware that he has been sneaking around in his room. She incapacitates him by positioning a block of wood between his feet and ruthlessly hitting it with a sledgehammer. In the following scene, the sheriff observes an outburst in the town and decides to explore her background. After some time has passed, he goes to her home to have a look around. When he goes outside, he hears a commotion, and when he returns inside, he finds Paul in the basement, where Annie has already shot him. When she reveals that she plans to kill him first, and then herself, he makes the demand that she complete the book before anything else. Later on, as he is working on the book, he asks for 3 items: a cigarette, some matches, and a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne. When Annie comes back, he asks for 2 glasses of water again. In her absence, he douses the manuscript with a combustible liquid and ignites it. 18 months later, Paul is observed in a cafe with his agency when he categorically rejects the idea of writing a book on his experiences. In a terrifying vision, he misidentifies a waitress as Annie because she keeps repeating Annie's statement, "I'm your #1 fan." Misery, released in 1990. Directed by Rob Reiner. Produced on a budget of approximately $20 million. Stephen King has often stated that Misery is one of his favorite film adaptations of his work. Kathy Bates won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role as Annie Wilkes, marking a milestone as one of the few horror thriller movies to ever win an Oscar. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more videos like this. Your support keeps the reels rolling, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next recap.